So there's a new version of the YouTube app on Android, and it has some interesting features in it. Now, most people, they're talking about the new dark mode, which is cool. I'm a big fan of dark modes in general, but the thing that was more interesting to me than that was the watch time tracking that YouTube is now making available to you. It's giving you that information back. Of course, YouTube always knew how much time you spent on YouTube, but they didn't tell you, certainly not within the app and not on the web page either. In fact, they still don't on the web page, not within the settings or anywhere like that. But on Android, right now, you can find out how much time you're spending on YouTube. A daily average, a weekly average. Maybe you can bring some balance to your life. Now, a little personal story here before I dive into the feature and we take a look at my watch history and how much time I've spent on YouTube recently. I have been trying to tone it down a little bit. Take a little break from YouTube consumption because it can overwhelm. Of course, that is the case with all forms of entertainment, social media, and so on. It can absorb you. And you can actually kind of miss out on real life because you're too invested with the screen. It's locked in. There's no life left over. So nobody wants that. It appears even YouTube doesn't want that because they're making this data available to you, as well as some features to help you also take a break from YouTube. It seems crazy. They want you to watch more content, watch more ads. They can earn more money. But for whatever reason, they must have recognized that people were taking it a bit too far, or maybe they were getting burned out, strung out on the YouTube binge. Toggle it back. You gotta have a balance here, and so we're gonna make this available to you. So anyhow, I made that video a little while back about, it was called No Phone. It was an app where you could limit your usage of certain apps, limit the addiction to a certain extent. For most of you, that isn't realistic. But maybe this, on an app-specific basis, you know, maybe you could take a break here and there and regain some of your actual life back from the social media vortex. So anyhow, I'm gonna dive into my YouTube here, and this will be available to you on the latest version of YouTube for Android. So go download it if you don't have it yet. Head up to your profile image up here and then click on time watched. So here you can see today I watched 2 hours and 25 minutes. That's more than usual. Yesterday was 51 minutes. In the past week, 7 hours and 28 for a daily average of 1 hour and 4 minutes. Now, you might be looking at that and saying, that's a lot of time. To me, it does seem like a lot of time when you see it like that. I might want to knock it back even a little bit more. Now, again, this seems odd. I'm telling myself, maybe you, to watch less YouTube. Why would anyone want to do that? I mean, this is where I am. This is where I speak to you here on YouTube. But, you know, it's about quality over quantity. Watching the things that you want that are useful to you and maybe not getting so caught up in the algorithmic stuff of just the whole click, farm, just next. I don't even know what I'm clicking on anymore. Why am I attracted to this thumbnail? You can have a little bit more agency over those clicks if you're a little bit more careful about how you spend these hours. We're gonna bring in Willie Do right now because he's got some staggering figures here. The man, he spends a little bit of time on YouTube as I understand it. So here he is. Round of applause for the YouTube champion of The Office. This man banks the biggest numbers on YouTube. It's all here, it's all happening now. Let's put the smartphone on the table, see what we're working with here.
All right.
Time watched. Here we are. Okay, put it beside mine. You're watching a little more than me. 2 hours and 38 minutes a day. That equals out to 18 hours and 30 minutes a week.
Yeah, that's quite a lot. I'm actually a little ashamed. But
make the case.
I would have to say that most of the videos are educational. Like I watch a lot of lectures.
Yes.
But also I stream a lot of music. A lot of just live music.
Right.
And occasional ASMR here and there.
Right.
So that's pretty much it.
Look, there's all kinds of habits here that are gonna adjust how these numbers look for you. Like he said, if you're streaming music, well, you're not really watching, it's on in the background. Maybe you are being productive, maybe you are doing something else, maybe you are watching something educational. There is no black and white strict rule with this stuff. It's not like just watching in general is bad. It's like you just gotta get something from it.
Yeah, something valuable.
Something like an unbox therapy video. But I guarantee you, someone in the audience is gonna go check their stats right now and they're gonna crush your 18 hours. I guarantee it. And I'm curious to see the numbers that people come up with and also just the numbers that people think are acceptable as YouTube the web, our smartphones have displaced the television, and now all of our hours, for the most part, are being spent here, you have to expect that these are going to continue to go up as the quality of content goes up as well.
That's true.
We both have the new dark mode enabled too, so recommend that. You can see there's a feature here which can remind you to take a break. I'm gonna turn this on for me. I'm gonna turn on for, well, Will obviously needs it. Now the default setting for that is 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I wonder if Google thinks that 1 hour, 15 minutes is kind of like the perfect viewing session. With Google, there's always some reasoning. So I'm assuming that's the case. We're both gonna get reminders from now on every 1 hour and 15 minutes. You have autoplay next video. You have this off.
Yeah, I don't usually like
Okay, I'm gonna turn that off too. Scheduled digest.
What? I don't even know what that is.
Let's say you get notifications from 5 or 6 channels. You will get one notification as a daily digest of those uploads.
Interesting.
I think the point with some of those features there are to eliminate distractions if you're distracted too frequently, and then of course the reminder to take a break is just like, look, you spent 1 hour and 15, maybe you want to go do something else. Listen, this is important. This is important right here, because the truth is, even if YouTube could show you a million different ads, if you're not engaged, if you're not interested, if you're a vegetable, a zombie sitting there drooling, foaming at the mouth, you're not helpful really to anyone. What content creators, advertisers, anybody that's serving up anything to somebody on the other side of this lens watching through their smartphone wants to deliver something that's engaging.
Yeah, beyond entertainment, there's some sort of utility that should go with it. You know?
Hopefully. I think that's kind of the best YouTube. That's my favorite type of YouTube. If I can take something away with me that I consider to be useful, then I tend to not feel as guilty for having spent my time doing that.
Yeah.
Like I said before, leave a comment down below. How much time are you spending watching YouTube? And what's the biggest time waster? Which content do you feel most guilty about watching? What are those hours you want to get back? I'm curious. I want to know, maybe the algorithm is not always right.